So my name is Shontay Lundy, and I am the creator and founder of Black Girl Sunscreen. I like to call it a revolutionary sunscreen brand for women of color that has eliminated the telltale white residue and incorporated natural ingredients such as jojoba, cacao, shea butter, and things that just make you feel good and look good while being protected in the sun.
Shontay, you founded Black Girl Sunscreen back in 2016. Tell us a little bit about what the market was like, the options for women of color as it related to SPF, and then why you decided to start the company.
So I Googled sunscreen for dark skin, sunscreen for black skin, sunscreen for brown skin, sunscreen for ethnic skin, so many different keywords, and came up nothing that specifically said, this is for me. Not one thing. So when I saw that, I was like, wow, like not really shocking, but is this something that I want to take on, right? Because I'm always thinking of ideas. So once I decided that I wanted to do something about it, that I had the courage, the confidence, and the resources, then I did something about it. What did that look like? Well, what's an idea sunscreen? I don't know, something that doesn't make me look ashy. I don't want to look like a ghost. That was my number one complaint. Because prior to 2016, general market brand said, hey, sunscreen is not to make you look good. Sunscreen is to prevent you from sunburn and melanoma. It didn't matter what it made you look like, right? And my thought was, hey, that's not what this product is supposed to do. So what are some of the habits of women of color? What do I do? What do I like? And once I figured out what the next step was in terms of formulation, identifying a chemist, identifying a manufacturer, where I wanted to set up shop strategically, then that's how it became Black Girl Sunscreen.
Tell us a little bit about the education component of your mission and why that's been so important to the Black Girl Sunscreen brand.
It's important because we've been left out of the conversation for decades, right? And it's twofold, because SPF serves as a preventative measure for on the health side and then on the beauty side. So on the health side, it's we do burn. All skin burns. There was less evidence because our skin is darker and not too many people were showing up to the dermatologist with sunburn. They didn't realize it was sunburn until it was too late, right? And there are fewer cases amongst the demographic of melanoma.
What do you see as some of the biggest challenges that women are facing today as it relates to their health and wellness?
I would say the balance of really going hard for whatever their cause is, their business, and, balancing their family life, but then also trying to understand like where do they fit in, and maybe looking at what other people are doing. I think that plays tricks on your mind, right? And then it comes into this vicious cycle of, hey, I'm not doing enough. Right. And that's the health part about it. Like tapping into your psyche about, hey, you have to do A, B, and C to be at this place. Everyone's path is so different.
You were a company that secured a $1 million investment in 2020. I know you're going through a capital raise process now. Could you talk a little bit about what it was like trying to raise your first slug of capital back in 2020?
Yeah, we did that during the pandemic, so it was a little bit more difficult then. But I came into it very green, meaning not necessarily knowing the terms, not necessarily understanding, valuations and what would be good for the business. We also didn't have the traction and the reputation that we have today. So convincing, a team of investors or an angel investor, it took a lot. And when we did partner with our investor, it was someone that really believed in the category and believed in Shontay. Because when you're investing, you're really contributing to the entrepreneur that is heading that business. So to say like, hey, this is really cool, you only need this percent of the population to be booming, I think it takes a lot to really grasp that, right? And that's what happened in 2020.
And I think there is a much higher bar for women founders and women of color founders as it relates to the data points and the proof points and the momentum that they have to show, and even securing $1 million versus other companies which may be less proven and may have less of a historical track record, get more funding on the basis of concepts or ideas.
I literally said that, pre, 2020, $1 million might have been unthinkable to raise, right? Because it's just a lot of zeros, like $1 million. And that's how I see it, is that when you're not in the space of raising money, it just seems so gigantic. But then you've raised it, spent it, and you want to grow fast. You want to come out with new innovations, and you want to hire top talent. Then 1 million it's nothing. So now it's kind of like, okay, so great, I'm part of the 100 club, but more is needed. Now there's a different club. How do we bring attention to that club?
Shontay, a lot of male investors are going to see this presentation and this interview. What would you like male investors to know about your business?
Okay, so a male investor, what I would like them to know about Black Girl Sunscreen is that Black Girl Sunscreen can be used on all skin. So all skin burns, that's first and foremost. And then I would also say that when it comes to contributing to a brand and the founder, focus on the founder and not necessarily the product, right? The risk that you're taking is on the intensity of who's heading it, the knowledge of who's heading it, the passion, the determination, the background on who's heading it, and to get with the time, because Black Girl Sunscreen is the future, not the past. I envision Black Girl Sunscreen as being the leader in this space as we currently are, in mass, and really just serving as an option, not just for Black and brown, but for all, because it's a universal problem that all people have when it comes to sun safety. From a sales perspective, it's fun to see the growth in a time that was never ever thought about, 6 years ago. We could never have this conversation in investing in a brand called Black Girl Sunscreen, A, because of the name, B, because it's so niche, and C, there was no data to go off of. There was no, hey, how much does the average Black or brown person spend on sun safety? We have, brought the awareness of, hey, there is a market out here that has been untapped and wants to learn, and also has the resources to purchase.
Shontay, I think a lot of your results, the proof is in the pudding in terms of you've really developed this cult following around Black Girl Sunscreen. I think you were sharing some of the Instagram followers that you have, how loyal, how passionate the consumer base is when they actually find a product they like and that speaks to them. Could you share a little bit more about the community of Black Girl Sunscreen users?
When it comes to the brand, we're for the everyday woman. Right? This woman doesn't have a certain complexion. She's Black or brown, not darker or lighter. There's no weight to her. There's no height to her. She's a woman that cares about her skin. She's a woman that is curious. She's a woman that is active and dormant at times. She's a woman that is supportive of all things that are great. So that's her. We resonate with the community on a different level. Our partnerships include being the first, local brand to sponsor a major university's track and field team. This just came out hot off the press last week. Black Girl Sunscreen partnered with USC's track and field, right? we're the first of its kind. We are doing, community events. We are on the radio. We've had some TV hits. So we're doing it in a way that is organic and authentic and shows our community that we're real. We have the same issues.